Hello, Paisanos. It's Ian63, and I finally have finished playing Hollow Knight Silksong. If you don't know, yesterday, on one or 2 days before my birthday comes, I finished Hollow Knight Silksong yesterday, and it was a chef kiss, just a gorgeous cinema masterpiece. Now, so spoiler alert and warning: this will contain massive, giant, huge spoilers. So please, for the love of Lord, click away from this video now and do not watch it. But if you finished the game yesterday like me, or finished it earlier like me, and know what I'm talking about the final boss, the ending, and of course the post game content and the true ending, then you may watch this video freely. Alright, but anyways, on to the review, and yeah. Hollow Knight Silksong, just what an amazing video game this was. This took around 6 years to make, back in I believe in 2019, if we go to Team Cherry's page. So 2019, I believe that was the year, yeah. After the Hollow Knight DLC and the Void Heart, basically this was revealed and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty much a full-on sequel, and we thought it was going to be a DLC, but nope, it was a full-on sequel. And then after that, pretty much we got some info about them, but then we didn't get anything until 6 years later in 2025, Hollow Knight Silksong. And the reason why it took so long is simply, well, Team Cherry was just having fun making the game. There we go. It wasn't anything serious. Wasn't anything like no issue. It was just simply they were just having fun making Hollow Knight Silksong, and there you go. So yeah. And I remember seeing the trailer, and I was so high. I bought it from day one. I bought it on both my laptop and Nintendo Switch 2, which I am going to showcase my Switch 2 here. Yeah, sorry if you saw my computer mouse. So here it is, Hollow Knight Silksong, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This is digital because there's no physical copy yet. There's not really much difference between either, whether the Switch 2, Switch 1, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and the Steam Deck versions are better. They all run, I think, at just the same frame rate or something. Maybe Switch 1 might be the lowest or something, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I got Hollow Knight Silksong 2. I didn't finish this version because I wanted to test out, because if you don't know specifically, there was issue happening during this Hollow Knight Silksong that the Steam stores were closing down, and I saw that with my own two eyes. So I was getting really troubled to buy the game and stuff, so I decided to buy it on Switch 2. And oddly enough, the Switch 2 shop worked. I'm not sure why, but whatever it was, I was still able to play it for a while. But then after 1 or 2 hours later, I bought it again on Steam and the entire soundtrack, because I just prefer Steam because of those achievements, that little pop-up like and stuff, because it just feels more satisfying. It feels like you're making progress. The Switch 2, you can do that, but it doesn't make that noise. It just doesn't feel the same. But yeah, that's basically the Switch 2 version I have. So yeah, I didn't finish the game on Switch 2, but I finished the game on Steam and stuff, and I intended to finish it on Steam. But yeah. Alright, now time for the review. I apologize for the 3-minute wasting introduction. But Hollow Knight Silksong, here was my entire Let's Play, and I'm going to do something a bit different. Unlike my other Let's Plays where I talk about how amazing this game was, I'm going to show my gameplay footage, prove how much I love this game, and yeah. So here was part 1 and stuff. Yeah. So part 1 and part 31 final, I'm going to be showcasing, on YouTube. And then for part 2 to part 30, I'm going to be showcasing here on the videos that I keep in my video folder, which is captures and stuff. So yeah, here was the first part. I hope it's not too loud. Yeah, I think it's perfect volume. But here was the first part. It was just amazing to see this intro cutscene. And then we wake up here in this green area and stuff. And thus marked the beginning of our journey with Bone Bottom and stuff. And yeah, so now that was part 1, and I'm going to, I'll move that out of the way. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. The recording got a bit messed up there. Okay, alright, there we go. So, now if I go over here. Okay, so, I'm not going to showcase the part 31 final yet, because I want to show 2 to 30. So now here was part 2 and stuff. I'm going to make this as fast as I can, because I know this is going to be a lot, but please be patient with me, guys. I promise I'll get through this. This is part 2, where I got the first power and met, technically, I guess, our pet now, because we first have to fight this thing, and now we're friends with it. For the fast travel and stuff, to travel to other maps faster. So, and then part 3, where we basically went here and stuff in the march area to this nether forest and stuff. And then now there's going to be that upcoming boss fight that I'm going to tell you that really threw me off for the first time and stuff. So it's not here yet. No, this was the fight area. Okay, before we talk about that boss fight, there's another boss fight to talk about, and this boss is actually a major character. This is Lace, I believe. And this part is pretty easy, but Lace will come back for round 2 of a fight. And yeah, so now after part 5, now part 6. This is now, of course, where we received, I think this is our first crest. I'm not, no, I'm not sure, but I was just so focused on the final moment, I completely forgot about the rest again. But no, I think this might either be the first or second crest we might have got. So this allowed us to glide and stuff, and yeah. I apologize if I might have forgot the first crest. And then that was part 6, so this is part 7. This is where we're in the rain. Now, remember that boss fight I was telling you about? Here it was. What was the name? I think it was like Morwing? I don't remember. But it was this flying boss. And this was an absolute nightmare. Until when I realized the trick is you can stand on top of the bridge, do downwards attack, and then bam, you can just cheese that fight easily. But you have to like go through another section and obtain another crest ability. And then after that, I went through the forest, fought another boss, which was some plant thing. And yeah, then I made it to, you know, obviously to this ruins area and stuff. Where now I had to explore this town where this cutscene would play and stuff, which is the halfway home. Yeah, that's the name of it. And then that's part 9, now part 10. Halfway there. Where we basically went through Shellwood, and yeah, this was the cave, and that was Shellwood. And then we fought this hard boss that I finally defeated, and yeah, that was part 10. Moving on to part 11. Now, as we get off from Bow Bottom, obviously go through the shop to collect some items and stuff, and an achievement. Then we go through this snow area. We got kidnapped by one of these guys, and then we had to go fight our way back in this prison snow area. And now for part 12. This is where we were back at this area with that stupid fly, but now dead. And we had to basically unlock another ability, which was here. This is another crest we unlocked, which was, what was it? Which is the stone. Hold on. It's going a bit too fast, that's the problem. Fake. Stone something. Sorry, I want to make it to the correct timestamp, but it keeps like it keeps doing this thing where I want to play something, but it's going too fast to skip it. I don't know why. But anyways, now part 13 and stuff. We talked to a bunch of the local shopkeepers and locals to obtain some upgrades. Pretty short. Now, coming up, now before I get to part 14, coming up in later parts, there's going to be times where I skipped it to skip out filler. So part 14, we went on the Sinner's Road and stuff. And 15, part 15. This is where I basically was kind of like getting lost and stuff. So yeah, part 15. Now, before I talk about part 16 onward, I should mention that I had to look up a playthrough and stuff because I was getting lost in some certain areas, and I didn't want to add so much filler and unnecessary and make the video way too long and stuff. So I wanted to make sure more focus, better pacing, and stuff like that for the Let's Plays and stuff. And this is where I was finding, let me see. No, not another boss, but that's where I got lost again. So this is, I think, from now 17 and onward. This is where I had to watch the playthrough and stuff. And yeah, you see, this is the first time where I watched the playthrough. And this is where finally we went to this sandstorm area, this desert area. And now this marks the end, I believe, to the first act of the game, almost. Part 18. Then you're back to the snow area, of course. Then you go to the sandstorm area. And now you fight the first act of this boss, which is the first part of this game, which is... let me see. What is it again? Yeah, Lost Order. Is this Judge or something? What's the name of this boss? What's the name of her again? Is it Judge? I hope I didn't pronounce that wrong, man, because I'm going to be so embarrassed. What's the name of you? Okay, let me skip. Sorry about this, guys. Last Judge. Okay, I got it right. Judge. Which, surprisingly, I'm going to be honest, wasn't really all that difficult. I actually had a lot of fun fighting her, honestly. The attack patterns were actually fun, and I actually had a lot of fun fighting Judge. And then after that, finally, we made it to, the second act of this game with this great cutscene. And after that, the second act of this game officially begins. This was part 19 and stuff. And ironically, it was a perfect fitting number because I'm 19 years old now. Well, I'm going to be, the big 2-0 tomorrow on my birthday. So I think this was perfectly fitting, honestly. I'm sorry. I apologize if that didn't make any sense. But yeah. This was the second act of the game. Now officially begin. We're going to go to a clock tower now. Some abandoned clock ruins or clock tower and stuff. And this is part 20. And then, for some reason, I really love this music in the clock tower for some reason. It just feels nice. And yeah, that's officially Act 2. So now moving on to the last, third, final act of Hollow Knight Silksong. Part 21. This is where we have to fight a boss down. This is where I fought that boss and I went here to another shop. And then there was those three gods who wanted to hear music. And of course this is the clock. Again, now part 22. Of course we had to play with this music ballet and stuff. Well, actually was really funny. I loved his music. I also love this guy's fight. He was hard. I did die from him a lot, but he was actually fun hard, okay? I was glad that I died to him, so I could listen to more of his fun rhythm attack patterns, which were really fun to understand and master. And then so we meet Vault Keeper to collect one of the music pieces. And of course, I got lost here a bit, but thankfully I had enough, of those purple circle things to unlock more checkpoints and fast travels. And this is where I went to the Snow Ice Ruins area to unlock another ability, which, spoiler alert, I guess I already spoiled it for myself, which is the double jump ability. That was part 24, which is here in part 25. And you unlock a new ability, which is the Fade Down Cloak. I'm sure they could have called it double jump, but that sounds better. But yeah, the double jump. Also, I love this little detail here where it almost feels like your screen is probably frozen. That did caught me off guard, but that was a nice detail and stuff. But yeah, it was the double jump, and it was so dang helpful, man. It made the game even more fun. The thing with Metroidvanias, they can suck in the beginning because you're underpowered and you're going to die a lot, but when you get the upgrades, the power-ups, and the abilities, oh my god, they feel, chef kiss perfect. And it feels like you're some kind of powerful god just blowing up everything in one hit. Maybe, like Doomslayer, Rip and Tear and stuff. Okay, not like Rip and Tear, but yeah. Also, I got this, which allowed me to upgrade my thing. Oh, and I also got extra health here. 6 instead of 5. So yeah, sorry if I'm talking about the most obvious stuff. This is just my playthrough, my experiments and stuff. I'm sure your guys' playthrough was different. That's part 26, so now part 27, where I went back to the clock tower, and then I got this other thing. And this part right here, this platforming section, it was really fun, except for this part right here, this enemy. I think this was kind of bad. An enemy should have not been here, in my opinion, because of the high knockback. But I still love this section. This was really fun to master the platforming and stuff, and the wall jumping, double jumping, yeah. And here's with the clock tower with some very unnerving music, but also cool music. Again, Christopher Larkin, Jesus Christ, man, like, you went beyond. And honestly, I'm glad you did. And then after that, gorgeous music, audience chorus starts playing. And, yeah. I'm just gonna let you all listen to this. And I also just like this needle drift, honestly. Never know I thought needle could be the best, instrument ever. And, yep. And then you see the background dancing, everyone dancing. And I took a picture here. This just felt beautiful. This is where I finally now think it was amazing. And learned the Arctoad's melody. Well, technically that's one of the melodies, but I got all 3 of the melodies and stuff. That was part 27, now part 28, where I beat this entire boss rush and got the conductor melody. And then, this is where, now we got to listen to this guy, to these 3. And then after we sing them a gorgeous song, I'm going to zoom out here and let you listen to this. And for some reason, they all light up. And now the door opens finally. And they all collapse. And finally, do you remember that Lace person? Spoiler alert, here is Lace again. And we fight her again for round 2, and honestly, I'm glad she put up a better fight this time because holy crap, she was so dang hard, but she was fun to fight. It was fun to understand all the attack patterns and stuff. And then after that, this is where I think you get the last final, abstract, area and stuff, abstract void section. And then, Hornet just going Super Saiyan Kamehameha and stuff from our Silk, a child born loyal. And yeah, that was part 29. Now, the next 2 parts, part 30. Sorry, I made a mistake here. I didn't mean to type final and stuff. I thought it was the final, but no, I was an idiot. Part 30, which, honestly, I'm just gonna shut up here and just let you listen to this gorgeous, music. This might be Christopher Larkin's best song in this game. So I'm gonna shut up here. The Cradle. Beautiful. Just absolute cinema. Just gorgeous. Christopher Larkin, I think this might just be your best song, honestly, you made. It's just very simple, but just so soothing. It almost feels like you're just ready to finish this evil grandmother Silk once and for all for what she did, and ready to put justice for a regain of terror of evil. Ready to finish this adventure once and for all, finale, farewell to Ascend. So yeah. And now finally, that was all the parts. Now, part 31, the final, and oh my god, I can't wait to show it to you guys. Part 31. Here we go. You know what? I'm just going to play this at full screen and let you guys just see this amazing, wonderful fight. I'm not going to talk here. He is done. Wait, no. No talking. That was satisfying. Perfect. Absolute cinema, just amazing. Sorry for repeating my words. I'm speechless just how amazing that ending was. Now, this is not the true ending. This is the regular ending and stuff, but After this, no, Hornet is not technically dead. We're still alive. You can see the movement there. And final achievement for the regular ending, Wyvern Queen. Bam. And just like that, that was Hollow Knight Silksong. Amazing work, Team Cherry. Just, I can't describe how much I love this game, honestly. Chris, like, you did a great job, Team Cherry. Area, sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Gibson, William, and of course, Christopher Larkin, all three of you guys, the main trio, and the rest of you guys, like Matthew, Tyler, Adam, and all these amazing people. You guys are just a masterpiece of a game. 100 out of 10, perfect video game masterpiece. If Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, and Donkey Kong Bonanza are the best video games of 2025 in terms of AAA, then Hollow Knight Silksong is the best video games in terms of indies of 2025. And this better win Game of the Year, Indie Game of the Year 2025. Because it 100% deserves it. Now, before I look at the final screen here, I want to give also one final thank you to, obviously, Retro Archive. Thank you, Retro Archive, for your playthrough, man. I honestly can't believe how thankful I am for your playthrough. Oh, yeah, I forgot to post this comment. Here it is. But yeah, here's my comment about him and stuff. Again, this was my comment. Thank you, Retro Archive, honestly, for your just 10 out of 10 work. If it wasn't for you, man, I don't think I would have ever be able to finish this game, honestly, without you. You helped me out with certain sections in the game, and thanks to you, I was able to just to get through this easily. Thank you, Retro Archive. Farewell, man. Thank you so much for your work. And yeah, so before I close out this playlist, which I do, no, I'm not going to close it out. It's still going to be there, but yeah. And yeah, thank you, Retro Archive. And yeah, so now, through the darkness and dangers you preserved, thank you for exploring the world of Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's meet again on the road ahead. Could that be Hollow Knight 3? No, I think Silksong DLC? Who knows? But I think what they mean is that I think I have to get the post-game true ending and stuff. Which I will be doing after, like, my birthday and stuff, because I want to take a break from this game. And here's my game completion, 44 hours, 22 minutes, and 47 seconds. Yeah, I know, but you know what? I don't care. I was having fun. That's what mattered in the end. And Steel Soul Mold unlocked. Death is permitted. The ultimate challenge. Jesus Christ. No, thank you. I'm probably going to get the true ending, but not in this mode. But yeah. And that was Hollow Knight Silksong. Hollow Knight Silksong. 100 out of 10. Perfect video game masterpiece. Indie Game of the Year 2025. Just thank you, Team Cherry, and the rest of the team who worked on this masterpiece. You guys just cooked and peaked so hard. I'm glad this game was just in development for a long time, so you guys could have fun making it. And farewell, Hollow Knight Silksong. And that was it. That was all the video. That was all the parts you saw. And yeah, that was Hollow Knight Silksong and stuff. And here's my review on it. Of course, since my birthday obviously is coming tomorrow and stuff, this was a perfect early birthday gift in my opinion. So yeah, thank you, Team Jerry, of course, and yeah, thank you, Team Jerry. So before I say one final goodbye and farewell to Hollow Knight Silksong and stuff, I want to also just say that this game will probably go down as just one of the best video games I played ever in a long time, honestly. Nothing about this video game just felt amazing. It just felt awesome. Just the entire experience I went on, from start to finish. From the start was where Hornet just falls in the grass area, to the end where Hornet finally defeats the Triony Grandmother Silk Queen and finishes her off in a satisfying, badass moment, honestly. And honestly, great. I'm honestly happy about that. It really felt satisfying. It's definitely right up there with Donkey Kong Bonanza, how Donkey Kong, did a one satisfying, punch to King K. Rool and stuff, and yeah. So yeah, overall, this along with Donkey Kong Bonanza are probably my Game of the Year 2025. Along with, I'm going to say that Donkey Kong Bonanza, Claire Obscure Expeditional 33, Shinobi Art of Vegans, and Hollow Knight Silksong are my top 4 Game of the Year 2025. They were just, phenomenal masterpieces that went above and beyond the equality, and yeah. So yeah, before I say a final goodbye and farewell to Hollow Knight Silksong, that's gonna be my 4 games of the year. But if I had to pick just one, I say either Claire's Obscure Exponential Horror 3 or Don Bonanza should win AAA Game of the Year 2025. Maybe Death Stranding 2 could win, I'm not sure. Either that or Don Bonanza. I'm not sure which one's gonna win. Maybe I was thinking Nintendo because they won 2017 with the Switch 1 debate debuted, but I'm not sure. We're just gonna find out. And for Indie Game of the Year, either Shinobi Art of Vegans or Hollow Knight Silksong, but probably I'm gonna have to go with Silksong. Sorry, Shinobi, but Silksong deserves it because it was just in development hell for a long time. But no, they were just having fun making it. But yeah, oh yeah, I want to do one more thing. Obviously, I apologize if this is getting a bit unnecessary. But if you don't know, by the way, this YouTuber named Daily Silksong News, I think you probably already know, honestly, because this guy is just so popular and stuff. But they officially announced it, their, honor and their farewell of the service of them delivering news and stuff. So before I do it, thank you, Daily Silksong News, for the amazing, of course, channel you did. You guys just didn't have to do this, but you did it, honestly. So yeah, thank you, Daily Silksong News. I honestly can't believe you guys just were that determined, honestly. But 1693, farewell and thank you for the fish, man. Sorry, what the heck did I just say? Thank you for your service. Forget what I said. I don't know what the heck I said in my mouth. But thank you so much for the, service you guys did. You guys just went beyond and above. And yeah, 100,069 days. Maybe the real Hollow Knight Silksong was the friends we made along the way. But yeah. Alright, and now I'm finally about to end this review now, but yeah. So, this is E63. I want to say thank you guys for watching my review on Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm definitely, obviously, going to be missing this game, obviously, a lot. And yeah, pretty much. So yeah, thank you, Hollow Knight Silksong, for just being one of the best games that I will forever remember, and I'll ever, be thankful that I was finally able to experience it blindly by myself, and not go on any of the social media and cutting off the internet for good. I missed out a couple of videos from my favorite YouTubers, but I don't care. This game was much more important since it was like an happy early birthday gift and my birthday month. So yeah. Triple victory birthday month for me. I get Hollow Knight Silksong, a Nintendo Direct on my exact birthday. Just what the heck, I'm so excited. And my birthday, obviously. 3 birthday gifts in the price of 1. So yeah. Farewell, Hollow Knight Silksong. Thank you. And yeah, farewell, Hollow Knight Silksong. Thank you so much, obviously, for the 10 out of 10 memories. I'll be thankful forever. And yeah. Alright. Sorry about this review being long. I just love this game so much, but yeah. Alright, but yeah, this is me, EC3, going to say one final goodbye, and farewell, thank you, and farewell, Hollow Knight Silksong.